Moving on, the Kurdistan Workers Party, or the PKK, has announced it will dissolve, this after 4 decades of armed conflict with Turkey. The move comes after the group's imprisoned leader, Abdullah Öcalan, called for a ceasefire in February. Turkey, who along with Europe and the US considers the group a terrorist organization. The PKK was founded in 1978 and demanded that southeast Turkey become an independent Kurdistan. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, efforts to create an independent Kurdish state failed, and for decades in Turkey, the state denied the existence of the ethnic group altogether. For more, we can cross live to our correspondent in Ankara, Jasper Mortimer. Jasper, what's your reaction to this? I mean, there had been calls from the PKK to dissolve for a while now.
Well, I am very surprised. Normally in a peace process, there is a global settlement. Arms are laid down, political concessions are made, and the fighters take off their camouflage uniforms and put on civilian clothes and take part in the political process. In other words, there is a quid pro quo from the government. But we've seen no quid pro quo. The Kurds have been fighting for a number of things. They want Kurdish teaching in state schools. They want a measure of autonomy for the Kurdish provinces of Turkey. There are about 10 of them. They want the revision of the anti-terrorism law. The European Union has been telling Turkey that it must revise its terrorism law because it's far too broad. But up to now, the government has made no public declaration on what it will do on these various issues. So by dissolving itself, the PKK is taking an awful lot on trust. And I think one can say that this is a sign of its weakness. If it were in a militarily stronger position, it would have insisted on a quid pro quo before dissolving itself.
And so, Jasper, what can we expect to happen going forward? What can we expect from the Turkish government?
Well, that is the question. Now that the PKK has laid all its cards on the table, the government must show its hand. What will the government deliver in return? It must make significant reforms. If the Kurds are disappointed, there is a strong chance they will take up arms again. The PKK has declared a ceasefire twice before, and twice before it has resumed fighting later. In today's reports, I haven't seen any statement from the PKK on what they're going to do with their weapons and their explosives. If they bury them in the ground, they could be dug up later. So this is a threat to the peace process. The government must deliver.
All right, Jasper Mortimer, thank you very much for that update for us from Ankara.